Good evening and good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Hope everyone is having a great, absolutely fantastic, fantabulous Thursday afternoon. And glad you can all join me here for the third and quite likely the final of these Q&A sessions for Profit Builder. And first of all, before I get started, I do want to say that, and I'll be the first to admit, our customer service has been swamped. This launch has been far in excess of absolutely anything we could have dreamed of. So, first of all, that's all down thanks to you. So, thank you. And my greatest appreciation to each and every one of you. I'm so glad that you all jumped on board and have got this incredible tool. And just to let you know, we have actually hired in the last few days. We've almost doubled our customer service to try and get on top of all tickets as quickly as possible. Usually, we like to try and get tickets answered within 24 to 48 hours. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. We've got a little overwhelmed. So that's why I've been doing these sessions to try and answer as many of your questions as humanly possible. Now, if you haven't had a chance, go look back at the other two webinars we've done, and we've covered a lot of ground. In fact, a lot of the common questions we're getting asked here, we've covered in the previous two webinars. So again, I'll try and skim over some of the most common questions I'm getting, but we have covered a lot. Things like background images we covered in the last session 2. We also covered some stuff about videos, but I'm going to go over those again. Now, if you're wondering where those videos are, if you go to the dashboard, the members dashboard, they're actually right there. Live Q&A from September 18th, 28th, and then you'll have, when this one's reloaded, we'll pop it up there and we'll be good to go. Now, let me ask you guys, put a 1 in the text box if you love Profit Builder, if it's changing the way you're doing business online. Really want to see if people are absolutely loving it. And again, an amazing amount of replies there. Thank you so much. And yeah, again, just I am sharing my screen now. I just want to make sure I am live, and you can see that I'm on the dashboard. You can see right there. There's the live Q&A from September 18th and 28th. So awesome. Great. Awesome. Now, if you've got questions about how to use Launchpad, we covered that a lot. I actually showed it in action again last week covered some specifics. So did want to kind of, again, direct people to that one. We covered Launchpad in a lot of detail because there was some confusion about how to find the relevant information to put in each boxes. We're also going to be making an addition to the Launchpad where some hosts, namely GoDaddy and stuff like that, have some funky butt setups, to put it mildly. So what we're going to do is we're going to make it so you can bypass the test. We did that to try and make sure, hey, before you go and fill in all the information, let's make sure we've actually got your connection information to your site. So we're going to make a skip that button so that you can go ahead, and then if you can't run the automatic installer, you can actually download the manual installer instead. And then you just basically upload 2 files to your hard drive and you're good to go. So we'll cover that. That will be coming out in the next week. And we've got a lot of stuff going on. So, I have my beautiful assistant with me here this afternoon, who's my wife. If you haven't met her, it's my wife, Tamara. Say hello, Tamara.
Hello.
She's going to be flagging questions for me. I'm not going to, honestly, we've got so many people here, I'm honestly not going to be able to answer specific individual questions. The reason being is there's so many people here. So what I'm going to try and do is, if I see a lot of common questions, I'm going to go through them and we'll be good to go. Now, can I get a 2 if you can see my screen? You should see the Profit Builder dashboard right now. Just want to confirm everyone sees my screen. Okay, perfect. Wonderful. You guys are great. Thank you. This is what makes things so interesting, is when I get really great interaction from the audience. And what I'm going to do is I'm also going to put some training in here as well. One thing we're going to cover today is how you can integrate Profit Builder with Facebook. And this is a very, very cool thing that we're going to show you. I'm going to show you how you can create like gates, fan gates, how you can build your social media following. And again, I just want to try and give you guys as much as I can. I'm going to show you things that we do with Profit Builder, how you can just keep things, keep it simple. one of the things we always talk about is keep it simple. You don't have to overcomplicate things. There's so much power in here that you can wield it like a, like a samurai sword here, katana. Um, but just because with great power comes great responsibility. I'm going to quote Spider-Man here, which making the leap from the noble samurai to Spider-Man is in under 30 seconds is weird, but it works. You've got a lot of power here. We just want to show you how to use it to the best of your ability. So, Tam, you were anything to start with? Start with videos. Okay, let's start with videos real quick. Okay, so if you're wanting to work with videos, there's a couple of ways to do this. Again, we did cover this before, but I want to give you guys we've got a lot of questions about videos. So I'm going to go, let me think, which test site shall I use? Okay, I'll go to our deployment system. This is where we do a lot of testing. So I'm going to log in here. Now, again, with a video, all you need for the most part, we handle videos in several different ways. You can use Vimeo, YouTube, and literally just take the URL and put it in place. The other thing you can do is you can embed code from, say, Easy Video Suite or Simple Video Player. If you've got a short code for a video, you can throw that in there. Or you could just link directly to videos that are hosted elsewhere. One thing we do a lot with Amazon S3 and CloudFront. So what I'm also going to do is on my other monitor, I'm going to bring up a window and I'm going to go into one of my CloudFront or my Amazon S3 locations, and I'm going to link and show you a demo video that we host on Amazon S3 because I use that to save my bandwidth. I don't serve videos directly from my own websites because that slows down your server and it's not good. So you want to have them either from YouTube or Amazon S3. Amazon S3 is very, very cheap. It's like pennies per gigabyte of data served. And I'm actually just going over here and test. Okay, so I've got some test videos that you'll notice they're OGV or MP4. I can do those as well. So what we're going to do first of all, I'm going to go to YouTube real quick, and I'm going to go grab the one I usually use is Thunderstruck. So I'm going to. I don't know why I like this video. It's a really low resolution video, but I'm an AC/DC fan. What can I say? So I'm going to create a new page, and we're just going to create a new. Now we're going to cover a couple of things here, guys. So I'll try and answer a few questions as I go. I actually have Simple Video Pro on here, and I'm not going to get into that. This by Nick Lapola. I can never say his last name. And Nick, if you're watching this, I do apologize, dude. But you can set up all sorts of videos in here that you can then embed as a short code. So we're just going to do this as video demo. And I'm going to turn off my menus and items and everything else. If you're wondering, yes, you can turn off your top bar, your menus. This is where you do it on the side options. You can also do video backgrounds, image backgrounds. So you'd select image and then you'd select an image to upload. Video embed. So you can embed a video and then you'd put in your MP4 link, OGV link, or you could just put in the ID from, you see, YouTube video ID. All I'd do in that case is literally just grab the ID, which is that last part on the end of URL string. And you can then mute it, loop it, and do whatever you want with it. So that is how you would set it to do a video background. In fact, let's just start with that. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to click publish. And then there's two ways to load the live editor. You can click this little button up here, or you can click here and then click edit page. So we'll click that. And what happens is I'll have a full page of video. Now, again, it's only playing up here because I haven't got much on the page at the moment, but I could add a few rows. And you can see that is playing a video as a background. Now, I'd lay my content over the top of this, do all my setup. But in this case, we won't, okay? Because I don't want to give everyone epilepsy right now as Angus Young plays the guitar. So I'll just remove a couple of those rows. I'm going to save the page, but I'm going to also then edit it. And then I'm going to remove that as a background image. So that's how you put a background video. Okay, so I'm going to put none for now. Update. And then click Profit Builder again, edit page. Now let's put the video in actual place. Now I'm going to do a showcase of several different things here. So what we'll do is I'm going to put 4 videos on a page. So I'm going to do 2 rows like that. And now the first one, I'm going to, well, let me actually add a little bit of padding so we got some gap between them. Okay. That's cool. And a little bit gap there, a little bit of margin. Let's make it sexy. Okay, so now we'll come to content, add a video. Now, if I'm adding a YouTube video, it loads up with some default settings. For example, no controls, minimal branding. You can see it's just got the big play button. If I wanted it to autoplay, I could. No, I'm going to mute my audio so it doesn't blast you out, but there you go. So if I want to do the same again, one thing I can do again is duplicate that, drag it, and then I can just literally copy and paste my full YouTube video right up there. And it starts playing automatically. So I'm going to turn the autoplay off that one. I'll think about it, and I'll also do the same for this one so that we're not being blasted out with everything. So there's just very, very simple. If I want to turn the controls on, okay, as it plays, there's the controls. If I don't want the controls, turn them off. And I always tend to set it to fluid. The reason being that as fluid, it's responsive. And that works fine then on mobile devices. In fact, if I save this page and just to preview it real quick, as it goes responsive, you see it's shrinking till it gets to a certain point and then it kind of goes in line. So works perfectly on mobile devices. Okay, let me just remove Photoshop for a second. Okay, so coming back to the live editor, let's also add a Vimeo one. And I'll grab another AC/DC one. There we go. So I'll just grab the URL. I don't have to do much with embed codes because we handle these URLs automatically. I don't have to go kind of crazy, but I'll show you how you can do some embed code as well. I need HTTP on the beginning of that. Okay. So there's AC/DC again. So again, you can have that autoplay or what have you. We do some processing for different video platforms, so we can play around as we like. Now let's do an actual embed. If you wanted to, for whatever specific reason you have, you can go to YouTube if you want to grab the actual embed code. And I'll actually turn that off. So if you want to grab embed code, it could be whether it be from Easy Video Player or from some other system. When you go to actually share, embed, and you get this iframe code, you can put an iframe if you want to right in here. You just, again, just click video, click embed code, and you can put it in there, and it just basically will try and render it, but you don't really need to. You don't really need to do an iframe there, because if you do it this way, you won't see it here. But let me just refresh it over here. You see, you don't need to with YouTube. That's just what I want to show. You don't do it that way because it's an iframe. Embed code is slightly different. You just need the URL. So if I went to something like EV or Easy Video Suite, embed code, if you want to do a iframe, just for reference, we do actually have an iframe element. Let me show you this real quick. So if you do want to do an iframe under advanced, so you can grab that and you can put an iframe in there. All you need is the links and all the other data from your iframe, and you can put whatever you want in there. For example, in this case, it went mobile with my because of the column width with my blog, my main blog. So just to show you, that's the default. But you could put a YouTube link in there and do whatever you want in regards to that. Okay, so let me again go to Easy Video Suite. This is a video serving system I use. And say, for example, I'll go to my files. And I'll just pull up a random one. Say, for example, Ask Sean 209. And I'll get my responsive code. This is my embed code here, for example. Grab that. Come over here. I'll go to video. Embed code. Copy and paste. And there's my video right there. And again, I can play it right from within that. Now, what were you going to ask, Tam?
Just need to slow down. Did you ever get that little thing that shows your mouse?
Oh, the thing that shows my mouse. Let me try that. I did get something to, because again, some people are having trouble seeing where I'm clicking. And I just want to see if I can highlight that for everybody, make life a little easier. Okay. Let me, now that's Omnidazzle. Let me find this. I'm looking on my other monitor, guys. Bear with me a second. Okay, now pixel dust. Footprints. Focal point flashlight. Okay, gotta find it. Control. Okay. Okay. So, for example, okay, can you guys see this? I just want to make sure it renders. Put a 2 in the chat box if you see a bullseye now on my mouse. Does that make sense? Okay. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I want to make sure I'm doing that. I'm also trying to do a little bit of a... I've got a couple of other things. Okay. Apparently I can also leave footprints, which... Oh my good grief, I don't know what that did. Ah! Okay, that's a little scary when you're running a mouse. Okay, let's see if this works as well. Okay. Oh my good grief. I got pixie dust now. Okay, that... Okay, I don't think that's going to work. Okay, I was trying to see which effects would actually work best. Okay, we'll stick with the bullseye. Oh dear, pixie dust and me. That's not quite working out right. So over here I can set all the bits and pieces I want. I can change whether it be embed code or MP4. So what I'll do now is instead of a video there, I'm going to put an MP4 link. Now, for example, I'm using Amazon S3, and I'm using a little browser extension that allows me to connect up there. You can use the main console in Amazon S3, but I'm using a little thing for Firefox called S3 Fox. There's also one for Chrome, which is called... The hell is it called? I usually have it up here. S3 browser, that's it. So there's a couple of different things there. You can do it, but basically you mount it almost like it's a drive, and you can drag and drop to it and upload all the bits and pieces you want. So for example, in this case, I've got an MP4 that I've put on Amazon S3, which means it streams faster. It doesn't use my bandwidth. So I can grab this. I would right click. You want to make sure if you're doing this that you're giving it permissions for everybody, as well as the folder it's in and all folders subsequent. So for example, IMSC core, videos, test, all of those folders, I would come up here and do, say, for example, I know IMSC core, I'd come up here and then, whoops, no, didn't mean to do that. Cancel that. Download all those videos. Right click, edit ACL, change that, and apply to subfolders. And then click go. And see, that just allows me to make sure all of those videos have the right permissions to connect.
Instead of here saying what it is you're clicking on.
Okay, so I'm clicking now on test, and you can see I've got my videos here. The two I'm going to use is home.php and home.ogv. So I'm going to right click on that. I'm going to get copy URL to clipboard. And I'm going to come over here. I'm going to come back to the editor. And then over here, I'm going to put, because I've already set it to web M, OGV, and MP4, I'm going to put the full URL in here. Now we're using a system called Flow Player, and it detects whether you've got it auto playing or not. But you can see it's already preloaded the video. Now, when you're doing this, for maximum browser compatibility and mobile compatibility, you really should have two formats, WebM and OGV. Now that's just a converter. I'm going to get the other URL, so I'm going to put the OGV version in here as well. And what happens is a lot of the browsers will fall back to each and every different version depending on the browser you're using. So if there's a MP4 and it prefers MP4s, then it's going to show that. Firefox, for example, prefers WebM files. Some mobile media devices prefer WebM files. Now, if you're not sure, you can use a converter called Miro Video Converter. It's absolutely free of charge. It works on Mac and PC, and you can use that to you just drag and drop your MP4 in there, tell it what format you want it, click convert, and it'll do it. It'll convert to WebM and OGV. This is the tool that everyone uses for that. If you're going self-hosted, honestly, the easiest way, if you can, use YouTube. They handle all the streaming, the bandwidth, and everything else, and it's free. The only difference is that they control your video, not you. If you want to host it yourself, Easy Video Suite, Simple Video Pro, or just straight hosting with Amazon S3. It's done. So what I'll do now is I'll save this video, or save this page, and then I'll come over here. I'm going to reload. And again, you can see all these different videos there. This might be because I'm not, again, it's kind of a big video I just put in there. So it's trying to load it right now. I might not have the right formatting on that one, but that's what you saw it preload in the other one. It's just being silly right now. So I'll try and reload that page. There we go. For whatever reason, it was just hiccuping for a second. But there's an MP4 hosted right on Amazon S3.
They were asking you to put that link in the chat box.
Oh, the Miro? Okay. Yeah. It's called Miro, Miro, Video Converter, and it's mirovideoconverter.com. I'll put that in the chat box. If you're on an iPad and watching this right now, you won't see that link, but it's mirovideoconverter.com. There you go. Very cool little tool, and very, very simple. In fact, let me just pull it up real quick. I did this in the last session, but again, I just want to help those that are having video issues. Again, this is it here. And what I'll do is I'll just minimize this and pull that back up. I'll find a MP4 real fast. Let me see. Actually, let me download the one that I just loaded into that page. Okay, it's just downloading from S3 right now. So what you do is you can drag and drop or choose files. And that's going to wake up all my hard drives. I've got about 20 terabytes of storage on my desk here. One of the downsides of working with a lot of videos is you work with a lot of files. So, okay, let me go to desktop and just loading my contents. Too many files on my desktop. Come on. Got a $15,000 computer and a $2 hard drive, it seems. It's waking up. This is one thing that drives me crazy about the Mac.
Oh, it spins up. Can you cover embed codes? They don't need the whole embed code, just the number or anything like that.
For what? For YouTube?
Yeah. For YouTube.
Yeah. Don't use the embed code. You don't need it. The question was, can I cover what to extract from the embed codes if we wanted to? Um, yeah, why is this not going to my desktop, for God's sake?
Does it still?
It's not showing me any content on my desktop, which I know is wrong. Hold on 1 second. Um, okay, I'm just going to drag and drop it. I don't know what that was doing, but I'm just going to drop it in. So that's the video. Choose the format. I can then go to, say, video, and I'll go WebM HD. And then once it's ready, I'll choose any settings. I usually leave it as default because it basically just converts it from the existing format with all the right sizes. If I'm good, I just convert to WebMD to WebM format, and off it goes. And that's it burning right now. It's just converting it as it sees fit. And you end up with the correct version, and you do that again for the different format, and hey, you're good to go. So I'm going to cancel that right now, and that's good. Now, if you are working with YouTube, okay, and if you want to get your, oh, actually, let's go youtube.com. If you do want to get the embed code and you want to see what's going on, let's see, I'm going to go to the share embed. You'll see it's giving you the link there and the embed code. If you want to put it in your own iframe and change all these settings, all you really need is that URL, and then everything else we take care of. You just set the size you want for your frames and everything else, and you're all good to go. So no hassles and no harm there. Just that's all you need is that particular link, because it basically changes the word watch to embed, and then all the rest is the same. But just as a quick reference, that's all it is. Okay, well that's I think enough for videos right now. Let's go on to something else. What else are you picking out of the pile there, honey?
Okay, you did embeds.
Did embeds, did background images and videos.
One comment was, do you plan on adding a CAPTCHA form to the contact form? Or they can use a plugin for it, I suppose. But
It's a good question. And that's actually a very good suggestion. Let me add that to the future list. That's actually a very good suggestion. And I'll be quite honest, I didn't think of that, and I'm kind of kicking myself. So it's a great suggestion. I love feedback like this. 11. I've actually got a punch list for my coders. Add a capture to the contact form. Now, if you want to use your own contact form, like Contact 7, you can embed those using short codes. You can put that on a page. Already has it if it's a really critical requirement right now. Can't say when that will be added. That's just going on the kind of suggestions list. But very good suggestion. Thank you. Love that. Okay. Find me another one.
How about import? Well, we did importing, exporting templates last time.
Yeah.
And
I can cover it very, very quickly.
yeah, you can.
Okay, couple of things. When you're loading a template, you can export. The question was,
Like if they're putting it on a client side, they design it in a new
how do you work with templates if you want to put it on a client site? Well, first, to handle templates and any page you design, and if you're not, for example, someone said they're not the webmaster of someone else's site, how do they do that? Can they build pages for other clients? They need their own copy of Profit Builder, okay? Because the template and the page needs the Profit Builder system to translate all the code that is generated. It's not just going to create static HTML. It needs all of the elements and the processing of Profit Builder to display it, first of all. Now, say, for example, this is my video showcase page, and this is something I want to share with someone. Well, maybe I want to put this up as a template somewhere. Maybe it's my training videos for a members area or something like that. And this is the structure I want. Maybe I put a headline and logo and everything else. Well, I like the basic setup. So what I can do, first of all, if I want to export it, I have to save it as a template. So I'll call this ACDC video showcase just for fun. Okay, so I save it, first of all, as a template. Then I come up to export template. You can do this from the back end, but you then find your template, excuse me, template you want to export. Click export. And what it does is it bundles it up, it creates a zip file. Just click leave page, and what happens is it downloads a little zip file on your drive, and it basically, that's the contents of the zip file. Contents, image names, settings, if there's any images, there isn't. And basically, that's it. That's all, it creates all of the code. Now, what happens is you go to another site. Say, for example, I'm over here on this demo site over here. I'm going to show you the back end way to do this. So I'd click on Profit Builder, and then I could click on Templates Manager. Let me hide that message. Okay, who won't let me hide the message that says hide message? That's funny. Okay, so what I can do now is I can drag and drop, and this is what your clients would do if you were doing it for a client or what have you, or you'd set it up for them or something like that. But you'd then drag and drop the zip file, the one we just created, over here, and you can see it's given it a name, ACDC Video Showcase. And you can see it's pending upload because it's got the little negative sign. So I can click Start Upload. It takes just a few moments. A little checkbox next to it, and that means it's installed. Now, you won't see it down here. These are only ones that are in our cloud, our distribution platform. But it is in the list right there, see? So it's now been imported. Now, to deploy it, now I'm on a different site. I'm on affiliaterockstars.com. We built this over here on WP Profit Builder Deploy. So what we'll do now is I'll go to Pages and Add New. And what I'll do is I'll do ACDC test page. And I'm going to leave the menu and everything else on. I'm just for the sake of this. So I'll publish it. Profit Builder, edit page. And now because I've imported the template, I can now go to load page. And then you see load. You can either duplicate and clone an existing page you've already done, or you can load from a template. Now, I should really mention here, if you look at the cloud, you have to install from the cloud for it to appear here. So you choose which ones you want, and then you can pick. So, for example, we just imported this one and installed this one. You can see ACDC Video Showcase. Click there, click load. Takes just a few moments, and then it loads the content of that setup. And we're good to go. It's as simple as that. Now that's all in there. And if that was my training page, I'm good to go. So that's how you can deploy the contents from one setup to another in just a few clicks. So that covers that. Okay, shall I jump over to Facebook stuff, or have we got a couple of other ones that you'd like to go over, honey? Because I know we've got so many questions. My wife is trying to correlate and bring down.
You can jump to Facebook because that's what we were going to cover today.
Okay. So we're going to jump over to Facebook now. So if I had a great little squeeze page like this, could I embed this inside Facebook using a tab? Well, the tool we use is called WooBox. It's a great little tool. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to Facebook, and I'm actually logged in as one of my clients, so I need to log out there. And I'll log in as me. Okay. And what I'll do is I'm going to go over to one of my pages. So I'm going to go over to here, and we'll actually go over to here. Okay. Now, let me skip this. Okay. I'll call this red. I'm going to go to my page. Okay, so what we're going to do is, we've got a few apps, we've got a few other things going on. But what we want to do is manage tabs. So what we're going to do is we can reorder, manage, we can play around with whatever we want here. But we want to embed it. One of the cool things is when you set up a timeline or a tab or a Facebook element, you want to try and drive people over to here. So you can see right now, get access now and everything else. And there's more likes and everything else. We can play around with these tabs. You want something that says like get free training or download your cheat sheet or something like that. Okay. You want to try and you can either rearrange them, you can drag to reorder. For example, like this, I might want that one first, and then likes last, and everything else. So I can play around with those and get my ordering as I want. Download your free cheat sheet. I can have my ads running towards it. But when you have um, your ads and your tabs set up, if you're driving traffic to it, you actually get cheaper traffic, and it dramatically reduces your ad cost. So it can be very cool, especially if you have a lot of people coming to your Facebook page. It can actually be really beneficial. If you have sticky posts telling them how to download the cheat sheet and you're driving them in there and you're promoting that, again, far cheaper. So what we do is we can now a lot of the times we honestly take them off of Facebook directly and take them directly to using the website clicks and everything else. But again, a lot of people ask, how can I embed some of this stuff in? So what you do is you click on Get Started for free. I'm already actually logged in, so I'm actually going to go. Okay, I'm going to switch over to myself. I'm already logged in, so it already has my a couple of demo apps in here for this particular account. So what you do is you can now, there's all sorts of paid apps in here, but the one we're going to do is one of the free ones. We're going to come over to static tabs, and you can see this is the get access now. This is one that I set up as a demo. It's actually um, not that great, but we're going to click over here at the where it says create a new tab up here, and we're going to click HTML Fangate tab. So we're going to do that, and it's going to ask me, what do I want it to do? So where's the source? Now, I could create one page that was, hey, download your free cheat sheet first, click like. I could design that up and do that no problem at all. And that way I could create what's called a like gate. In other words, before you can download, you've got to click the page. Now, there's a kind of little sales psychology trick I'm going to give you here that's very cool. One of the ways we've done this in the past, and it's worked very well, let me just bring up the chalkboard here. We've done two things. So the first one would be click like to get your cheat sheet, and you build it up a little bit more than that. But you basically want to indicate to the like button, and then that's great. Then the second part, when they click that, they're shown another page that says, basically, where do we send it? And that's where you ask for the email. It's kind of like the two-step process, but what you're doing is basically saying that, hey, it's not going to cost you any money, or yours absolutely free when you like this page. Again, you're not showing them the direct link. Then you just change it to say, where do we send it? Where do we send your cheat sheet? Enter your email, we'll send you your cheat sheet. Well, what's happened is you've got the like, you also got the email contact. That's good to go, and very simple to do. So again, you could have, number one secret revealed, my exact yada yada yada. Click like above, or click like to access, and then the second one could be your, download now. Where do we send it? Well, done. Simple as that. But let's just take this URL, and in WooBox, you have two things. You can have your page source and your non-fan page source. So this non-fan page source will be, well, what like the page first. Okay, this is your fan gate. So I'm actually going to turn this one off for now. But page source, where is it? Right there. Good. And then you can set a height on it if you want to, but it's basically framed. Now, if you want a little bit of a sneaky trick, you can also set a redirect. So when anyone clicks on that tab, they go off of Facebook directly to your page. A very cool little trick. Now, imagine the possibilities, and again, for Facebook marketers, you can also put affiliate links in that section. So if you have a tab that says, you're in the acne niche or the dog training niche, and you've got a great product that's an affiliate product, well, you can put your affiliate link right there as well. Very useful little tip. But let's actually just set it to the iframe URL for starters. Click Save Settings. Now we want to give it a name and everything else, so that's now saved. So let's go down to the tab settings, and we'll call this, what should we call this? Okay, we'll call it cheat sheet. Oh, let's see. Download the cheat sheet. Okay. Now I'm just going to leave the image here. You would upload a little image or something like that, but I'm just going to leave 6 for your videos for now. But you can change it, add a little image. It's a very small image, and I'm just going to go. Yeah, that's the size of it. I'm just going to save that image. I forgot they don't show the size anymore. Let me just get the exact dimensions for you. 111 by 74 is that little tab image. Not really used anymore, so don't worry about it, even if you don't have it. But let's save the settings. And you can also get stats. This is a cool thing with this little tool. It'll show you the stats about who clicks on what, non-fans versus fans. It shows you all your conversions. And like I said, it's absolutely free. It doesn't cost a thing. But now that we've done that, we can now decide where that will appear. So we'll go to tab settings, view the tab. You can see that's added to my page. And okay, took a second to load there, but that's basically would be the tab, and see download the cheat sheet, and it's showing right on that page. Your customers don't see this bar. This is the admin bar. This is only because you're logged in.
And Facebook's still okay with doing that?
Oh, absolutely.
They're going to change it next month. But
Facebook's going to change everything. The question is that still going to be okay with Facebook? They keep changing things. Yeah, you know what? Right now it is. I can't tell you what Facebook's going to do in the future. There's been all sorts of rumors and rumor mills. Some of the biggest names in Facebook marketing have been booted from Facebook. Right now, it's fine. If not, then they will change their mind and something else will change later on. There's always going to be a way to do things in Facebook because, honestly, they need the revenue. They don't make money without their advertisers. So things will change. Things will adapt. This is working right now, has been for a while. I envision it will do for a while yet. There are going to be some changes in Facebook. They've rolled out a lot of changes in the last few months. And some of the proposed changes never happened. Some of them did. Some of them have taken people by surprise. So I'm just going to show you what works right now. And I don't see a problem with this working in the future. But again, if it does have a problem, that's where you start using things like the redirect, or you start doing promoted posts directly, clicks to website, creating custom audiences. I will be doing an entire course on Facebook marketing. But this is, that's literally embedding right now on your site or on your Facebook tab and your Facebook page.
Put the Woobook or Woobox link.
Woobox link.
Out, show them, and it that goes into Facebook, not into WordPress.
That's correct. Yeah, it's woobox.com. And I'll log out. Okay. And there you go, guys. Okay. That's Woobox. And there's other ways to do it, but honestly, that's the quickest, easiest, and again, you don't have to mess around with much. There's all sorts of other great apps in here if you want for your Facebook page. Like YouTube channel, apps, Twitter, all sorts of other bits and pieces. Great little tool. I don't get any affiliate commissions for promoting this or saying that it's a great tool. I just give you the tools I use. I give you the strategies I use and everything else. Now, we have had a couple of questions about extensions for Profit Builder. One thing I'm going to do tomorrow. Now, let me ask you guys: have you seen the extensions that we've got for this tool? Put a 3 in the chat box if you've seen some of the extensions we've covered. Um, okay, a few people have, some people no. Okay, let me think. Okay, WooBox is free. Someone's asking how much is WooBox. It's absolutely free. Um, don't pay a penny for it, which is great. Now we've got some extensions that add features like Amazon. You know what? Let me just show you them real quick. The reason I mentioned that, some people have been asking if we can make a bundle where they don't have to buy the top end bundle and everything else. Can we just get the extensions? So I'm going to do I'll do a package next week where you can buy them individually. But some of the tools we got, I'm just going to quickly clear up this. Okay. I'm going to just quickly add in, these are some of the extensions. We've got one called Photo Ninja. We've got one called Instant Azon. And the last one is Marketing Graphics. So under Content, actually under Advanced, we have, say, Photo Ninja. Now, again, I don't know if I've got my settings in here. Yes, I do. So I'm going to go find an image. And this taps into like 250,000 premium, royalty-free stock photography. Okay, so someone give me a keyword. Someone give me any keyword that suits their needs. Just give me a keyword real quick. Adrenal fatigue, skincare. I'm trying to think something with a wedding. There you go. That's a nice one. Okay. So I'll type in that and then I'll search and then I can get some photos for that. Now, again, I've only searched for 20, but that's a cute one. So I'll select that one. See a little check mark next to it right there. Okay. I'm trying to remember to do this little target bullet thing, so I have to do a weird key combination. But there you go. Now you've got a photo for your collection. Again, you don't have to go get expensive stock photography. There might already be a photo out there. So the other one is Marketing Graphics, which is
know how to load those plugins.
these extensions. You download them like a normal WordPress plugin, install them like a normal WordPress plugin. They do require Profit Builder. They don't work without Profit Builder. But there are 3 individual plugins, which I'll show you in a moment. I'll open that up in another window and we'll go there in a second.
And that was part of the Ultimate Bundle?
It was originally part of the Ultimate Bundle, but I've had so much demand for them to be, are they available separately? And we are creating a lot more extensions for Profit Builder that they'll be available. We'll start creating a store for those. But let me just see. I'll grab that one. So we got all sorts of great marketing graphics that you can add. They add spice to your sales page. And then my favorite one out of the entire lot is the Amazon one. Again, basically the way I called it is instant mini stores. With marketing graphics, there's literally hundreds of marketing graphics. But let's do an instant Amazon store. Yeah, there you go. There's a few $1,000s worth of Rolex watches. Someone give me something they might buy on Amazon. Let's see if we can. So give me a keyword and I'll see if we can find camera. There you go. That's a good one. Camera, like that. So basically, just by changing that, it finds me a whole load of cameras. I can order it by title or by price. I tend to arrange it by price high to low because I want my most expensive stuff up top. I can change which specific category if I wanted to. And then I can also make changes to the way that the images, the buttons, and everything else show and everything else. But we've kind of got a good default set there, and you can play around with that. But yeah, and each one of those, you can click on Read Reviews. It tells you all the reviews for that. And then if you want to go ahead and buy, get more info. Go over right now, and boom. Actually, I should have saved that page first. Caught it before it actually left the page, and I didn't save it. But you can do all of that with these three extensions. Um, each one of these extensions would be $47 by themselves. But what I will do is I'll put it in the members area. Uh, would $47 be okay with you guys? I'll do basically you buy one, you get two free. Would that be kind of cool? That'd be fair. Now, yeah, you do have to be an Amazon affiliate. Go to associates.amazon.com, and you get your key. There's an SES key.
Show the configurations. Where you
The configuration is well, the configuration is very simple. You go. Let me go into the back end. Um, excuse me.
Does it handle UK Amazon?
Oh yes.
Okay.
We go super sexy, guys. We don't mess around. But yeah, basically, it installs like three separate plugins, just like that. Photo Ninja, Marketing Graphic, and it bolts right in. But what happens is under Profit Builder itself, because we've had quite a few questions about this. So you get extensions options, and you just put in your keys and everything else there. In fact, I should hide those because those are my keys. Um, we'll remind me to edit that out of the session. But again, you just get the keys and everything else you need for the we get the images from pixabay.com, huge archive of high quality photos. And then we also have the instant ASON settings. You just get your Amazon settings and everything else. But it's just in here. You just set it up and it's good. You rock it and roll it. It's as quick and simple as that. Okay, so we've covered. Now, guys, I have to keep this to about a maximum of another 30 minutes. So I do want to try within that time frame answer as many questions as I can. And again, I am taking lots and lots of people's questions and kind of condensing, trying to give an overall view to speed things up as much as I can. And I do appreciate your guys' patience. I've got a lot of people asking very specific questions. Again, I can't go into absolute micro minutia because we got so many overall questions. I'll try and answer as many of them as I can as I go. So go ahead, Tam. What have you got another one for me, honey? As I light a cigar, excuse me, guys.
The theme you're working on now is the Profit Builder theme. That's what you're working on.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay. One we wanted to look at was the sticky menu.
The sticky menu.
Yeah, you know how it stays in place and the rest, it's the parallel axis, what it is.
The sticky menu?
Where the menu stays at the top and the page just moves.
Oh, okay. What's the question?
How do you do that?
Oh, it's automatic.
Okay.
It's automatic with the theme. Okay, so the question was, how does the theme stay parallaxed? Which is, see this one here? This is using Profit Builder theme in the members area. And I've set up a menu and a logo. This is the one where it's actually visible. But what happens is, as you scroll down, you see it suddenly changes and it goes and sticks there. That is only in, well, lots of themes do that. Profit Builder theme does that as well by default if you have that menu on. If you're not using our menu and you're using some other menu system, one that's very popular at the moment is Uber Menu. Love that little tool. But there's all sorts of other menu systems. You can play around with them and set them if you want as well. We try and be as flexible as we can. But yeah, that is a default feature of that. And again, if you shrink down, you go to mobile, then you have the mobile version as well. You also have these widget positions and all sorts of things. But yeah, you can play around with that.
You might want to cover the menu. How we did it the other night using the default menu.
Default menu, you'll have to remind me, honey.
How they couldn't change the menu on top because they need to create it in appearance menus and then set it.
Okay.
That would be a good thing to cover.
Okay. So the question is, how do you actually set the menus up? Well, again, it's kind of a basic function of WordPress. Let me go to one of our demo sites. Basically, if you're using whichever theme you're using, go to Appearance and Menus. And say, for example, in this one, I've got just a demo. I had one link up here, apparently. But I've got my menu, And I've just got menu structure here. So one thing, if you're not seeing things, if you want to link up posts or categories from your blog, a lot of people don't realize if you click on the screen options, you can actually turn on things like your posts, um, formats, specific tags. You can also show link target and add all sorts of extra gubbins to everything. It's actually very cool. But a lot of the hidden stuff, a lot of people don't realize under screen options are a lot of hidden options in WordPress. So, for example, if I now have a category called uncategorized, I can add that to my menu, and then I can just go in here, call it blog, and then I can open the link in a new. Sometimes you can put like affiliate links up here. So, for example, I could have say links. I could do um, my cheat sheet.com, and I can have download the cheat sheet. Maybe that's a link to our squeeze page that we did earlier on. Well, I can add that to the menu, but maybe it's on another site, but I don't want them to close down the current site they're on. So I can then tell it to open in a new tab. Now, the cool thing with this is that it allows you to do all sorts of very, kind of ninja type stuff. But when it appears on your website, if I just save that menu and then refresh this page, you'll see now we've got the download the cheat sheet, the blog, and everything else all linked up nicely. If I click on that, it goes actually somewhere else. Um, but you get the idea. Boom, boom, boom. You quickly rocking and rolling. And again, all of the mobile responsiveness is automatically handled within the system. It just goes down and there you go. Now, very, very simple, very easy to do. And again, that's how you handle menus in this. Now, again, this is the home page. I haven't set up a home page on here or anything like a static page, which is one thing someone was asking, and I'll tackle that real quick. How do you actually set up a custom home page? Well, the first thing you do is obviously you need a page that is going to become your home page. So I'm going to go to Profit Builder. I'm going to load a template. We're going to make a very sexy homepage really fast. So I'm going to take one of the homepage layouts. Let me look to see what we got. I could choose a sales page to be my homepage if I wanted to, but I'm going to pick. Let me see. I like this one, so I'm going to install this one real quick. Takes just a few moments because it's kind of some of these templates are a little big. You've also got to be aware that of your host's restrictions. Sometimes your host may have a timeout or a RAM timeout. We added a new feature, by the way, and I should mention this as well because we're always adding new items and features. There is a new. Now, did I put it on this one? This might be an older version that I haven't upgraded yet. But there is a version where you'll see an area where you can increase the amount of RAM that is assigned to WordPress, and you can change it there. That changes the amount of RAM, so basically adds a little more power. If you're having trouble loading templates, change that. But okay, I've loaded a template. So what I need to do now is add a page, and we'll call this test homepage. So we'll call this homepage, actually, test. And I'm going to leave everything on, all my menus, my footers, and everything else. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to load Profit Builder, edit the page, and then we're going to load that template in. So I'm going to come to load page, and then we'll find that site homepage, Metro. Now, the one thing I should do is I should turn off the breadcrumbs here. Should have turned those off. And I don't need this row. And so I'm going to see all these demo items here. Okay, see all that's animated. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save that. And I'm going to turn off the breadcrumbs and this piece of padding here. So I'm going to come back over to the page. And again, hide breadcrumbs. Okay, so it's scrolling a little bit. Hide breadcrumbs, remove page padding. Update. And then when that's updated, I'm waiting for that to update. Okay, open a new page. Let's have a look. So there's my new kick-ass homepage selling whatever I'm selling. Okay, very nice, very beautiful, very cool. Okay, so now how do I set that? Because that's not my homepage right now. That's just homepage test. Well, you can come over to settings and reading. This is an internal feature of WordPress. Because I can't tell you, I've been asked this question a lot. And this is kind of like a basic function of WordPress. So I wanted to kind of cover it. And then you just select here, static page instead of your latest posts. And then find the page that you are linking to, homepage test. Done. Now I'm discouraging the search engines. Make sure you don't have that turned on. But because this is just a dummy test site. Now if I go to my homepage, instead of that blank page that we had, we have our brand new sexy page. That's far, far sexy. Ooh. Okay, Ted. Shoot me another.
What is the latest versions of the theme and the plugin?
2.2 for the theme, 1.1.9 for the plugin. Now, if you're not sure if you have it or if it's due, go to dashboard and updates. One thing you can do is click check again, and it'll just do it over here. Check again, and it'll go to check if there's any new updates. Usually updates, depending on your server and your setup, it checks every 12 hours. But if you go to installed plugins, and it'll say under here what version you've got. So I've got 1.1.9 here. And then if you want to see about the themes, go to appearance. You can also do check for updates right here. And that will check a specific plugin as well. If you don't want to check everything, you just want to check one. And then under themes, I'm using an older version of the theme on here. I haven't updated it. But you can click on here, get the theme details. It'll tell you what version you're using. For example, here I'm using 2.0.1. So what I can do here, again, if you want to manually update it, the new version of the theme has an auto updater. The older version did not. So what I can do here is I can activate an old theme real quick, just to show you the kind of manual way to update a theme. Then you can go to theme details, delete. This will not lose any of your files or any of your settings, any of your pages or anything like that. And then you just click add new. Come on, add new. And then upload theme, choose a file. And then I will go to my desktop and find Profit Builder deployment, source, PB theme 2.2, grab that, install. Now, again, it's a big file, but you should be fine. Click activate. Now, again, I've already activated it and activated the license and everything else. So all we're doing is basically updating. It's thinking about it right now and applying that update. And there we go. Dismiss that notice. Don't need any of those pieces. And we're good to go. So yeah, that's it. Now we can check it. 2.2. So that's the way to upgrade of the old version. The new version actually automatically detects an update and will let you know. So that will be cool. Okay, find me another.
Well, one is countdown timers.
Countdown
and
timers.
Another is how to put your opt-in code into a box so that it works.
Okay. Couple of things there. Let me put a timer on this page. So, question was, how do you use timers? Well, we've made some changes to the timers, so I'm going to cover that real quick. I love scarcity timers. So say, for example, this was download this fantastic hoodie-digi whatever the Hoodie Digi, I can't even say it now, Hoodie Digi.
Mhm.
Heard this name the other day for something and I thought it was bloody brilliant. I can't even say it. I have verbal dyslexia right now. So, say for example, I'm going to kill this piece here. I'm going to put a timer right in here. So, I'm going to click on here, right in the middle, and then I'm going to change it to advanced, grab a timer. So, you see right here. So, basically, it takes a second. Apparently takes a little longer than a second. Okay. I'm going to set that in the center. I'm going to remove the padding off the bottom. And basically you've got a countdown timer. Now, a couple of cool things with this, because we like to do things sexy. When the timer runs out, you can also have it go to a URL. So for example, google.com. So when the timer runs out, it goes to google.com. Maybe you've got it going to a page that says, too late, this special offer has gone. I do this a lot with some of my bonus and affiliate promotions. Why? Because it works. It adds some scarcity. Now, the timer, if you click on the timer up here, you can choose when it expires. So, for example, if I said October 31st at midnight, so I can then change the hour and the time zone if I want to. So, right now, I could say, well, it ends at midnight. And I can determine, okay, how close am I to midnight? Right now, that's 22 days and 2 hours. But I know, for example, that's UTC, that's Greenwich Mean Time. I know I'm 7 hours back from there, for example, or I could be 15 hours back, depending on my server time. So you might need to pay attention to when. Okay, that was actually the wrong option. Uncalled exception, bad time zone. So, okay. Okay, so say for example, I know I'm 7 hours back or something like that. So I can play around with it knowing that, yes, that's about right. 10:52, I'm 7 hours back. Okay, that had me worried for a second there.
Mhm.
Don't like that. So there's no time zone that is 12 hours rocking and rolling. It's usually plus, but you know where you are in the world, hopefully. So again, that's again going to expire at midnight on Halloween. So, okay, cool. Now I've got several different. You've got a couple of different options. We've also got what's called a fluid clock, which can go big and small and everything else. You can have it, and you can adjust the sizes of all of these items. We're actually going to change this around so that you can just set big, small, medium, large, or what have you. I'm going to go back to the flip clock because I think it's sexier, but we're going to have all sorts of settings for this. One thing you can do as well, and this is one thing we've improved with 1.19. Let me refresh this and I'll show it here. This flip clock one wasn't that responsive. So we made a couple of modifications. So it is. So on mobile devices now, you can see it is responsive all the way down on all devices. And you can play around with that as you see fit. Now, again, I'll just do that again just to show you. Okay, here's the big version. And then as it goes down, as it collapses in on itself, it adjusts accordingly. So, fully responsive. I wasn't happy with the responsiveness of that one, so we played around with it a little bit to try and make everyone's life just that little bit easier. Okay, so what else? You also have the ability to do evergreen. So you can choose evergreen and then say how many days out. So if I wanted 10 days out, now what happens there is that now will expire in 10 days for me. Now, if anyone else comes to the page, it expires in 10 days for them, but it resets the clock for each individual visit. So that works out pretty well and allows you to drop a cookie, do all sorts of cool stuff, play around, and set real evergreen cookies. So that's always good. Okay.
Cover line height. When you closed in, it overlapped. Just needed to set the line height.
Oh yeah, you know what? This is something else we're changing. Yeah, you see this here? This is because when they, be quite honest, when they built the template, they missed one little step, and I'm going to give it to you. If you see this overlapping, here's what you need to do. See this here? Okay, let me actually rebuild this real quick. They set a line height to 0, and it should be the font height. So I'm going to show you how to do this slightly differently
until they update it.
Until it's updated. So what you do is you grab a headline option, drag and drop, and let's just say welcome to, I'm going to center it, use custom font size, and you'll notice, actually let me change this up just a little bit. Okay, so I'm just going to set the color. I'm also going to change the font to, I don't know, let's see, Roboto. Okay. And then I'm going to make that Roboto super bold. Okay, welcome to this really cool site. You'll love it. And I'll increase the size. Now, here's the thing. This line height should be either slightly smaller or bigger than your font size. The reason being, and what I'll do is I'll increase this font size accordingly. I'm going to make it really big just to illustrate the point. So I'm going to make it 66. Okay. You'll see what happens is now you've got that overlap. Okay. However, if I change the line height, when it condenses, if I set that to say 60, so it's slightly smaller, you'll see that it's close, but it's not touching. So what happens is as I'm shrinking this down, you'll see like that, it's changing fine. If I go really, really big or really, really small, you can see it stacks perfectly. If I change this and make it really, really small, it gets ugly. It gets ugly as sin. So when you're doing this, guys, make sure that your line height is about the same as your font size, either a little less or a little more. You see how that, I'm going to reduce that just a little bit. So now it's really compressed, but it's not quite touching. You can just play around with the font and see how it shows and everything else. Or if you want it really, really spaced out, go completely crazy. You can see how that does that. Now, again, you wouldn't do that. I'm just using it as an illustrative purpose. So good catch there, and thank you. Appreciate that. Okay, cool.
Can you now spend about 10 minutes on opt-in boxes?
Opt-in boxes. Let's put an opt-in on this page. How about that? Will that work? Let me show you an opt-in right here. So actually, you know what I should have done? I should have left that timer on.
Or in any HTML on it.
I'm going to do, I'm sorry, say that again, Lenny?
Well, just grabbing their opt-in code and then, from wherever, get response. Or,
yeah, let's use either get response or rapid mailer, anything like that. Okay, so I'm just going to put this back in here. I'm going to center it up. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag and drop. First of all, let's set up the base opt-in before we put the code in. So I'm just going to grab the opt-in, drag it in, and where is it going? There we go. Drop it in. Okay, so we've got a kind of, let me see, if I change it to vertical, change it to horizontal. Okay, so basically there's your default settings, okay? And you can play around with it. In fact, what I might do is instead of this, I'm trying to think of an interesting way to change things around a little bit, but let's change the background so it's the same as this background, and I'm not sure what this color is. So let me just grab that. And that's, okay, cool. So now I'll go to form style. We've got lots and lots of options and configuration options here. So you can play around and basically set up anything you want. Okay, so play around with that. Now I've got my base set up here, and I can change around the CSS if I want to, or different elements. I could change the text if I want to, of the button if I want to, just because it's consistent with whatever else I've got going on. Excuse me. It works pretty well. So what we'll do now is I'm going to log into Aweber. I'm going to do it on my other screen for privacy purposes, obviously. But I'm just going to grab some base Aweber code. Tam, could you get me a soda, please? Because my throat is dry as a camel's behind. Okay. And I know that was a mental image that no one wanted there. Sorry. So I'll go to sign up forms. Okay, so here I am on sign up forms. And what I'll do is I'll just click publish on this test form. I will install my form, grab that, copy it, literally just copy and paste the code generated by this, or Rapid Mailer, or MailChimp, however, whichever code you've got, SendReach, all of those different systems that give you the same thing. Just copy and paste your code up here, but as soon as you do, you will see that all of these fields populate. So you see that? Now it's changed my post method, it's changed my email, it's set if it's got any custom fields, if it's got any hidden fields. If you require, for example, name and email, one thing to kind of keep in mind, if you have a required field, like here, name and email, I'm not using the name. I can turn that off. So be careful about whatever your settings are and plan on how you're going to use it. If you're going to collect the name and email, you better have the name field turned on. So, but again, that's all set up. It's processed, all of those things. We leave those options in here because some people have really custom setups and they want to do some funky stuff. So we give you all the option to do that. But we try and keep it as simple as possible to make life easy.
And you can't really change the size of the text in that form. I mean, you could, but can you show them how to change if you wanted to, dress up the form while you're in there?
Yeah, you could in the form style. You can change things like the border radius and everything else. Let me do it down here. I'll grab. I'm going to do something kind of funky. I'm going to do this. I'm going to grab this. We try and make it as flexible as possible, but I'm going to show you some of the stuff you can do with this. So in this case, I've got.
How do you make it vertical and skinny?
Yeah, I'm going to show you how you make it vertical and skinny and do all sorts of cool things. The question was, how do you make it vertical and skinny, and how do you do some of this other cool stuff in here? So I've just kind of made some spaces here, and I'm literally going to just duplicate this, and then I'm going to drop it in here. Now, one thing you'll notice is that automatically adjusted. This is kind of the responsive mode of this form. So I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm just going to literally fill up these blocks. And let me duplicate it again. And I'm going to fill up this one. So you can see it's automatically adjusting based on these sizes, okay? So I'll do it one more time. So you can see it's thinking about it and it's adjusting it. So, okay, so let's dress up these forms, each one slightly different. So in this one, obviously under form style, we want to make it white, but we could make it something else. So let's pick a color. Let's make it a kind of a nice blue. So we can change that. We can change the font color. So we'll make it white. And you know what? We need a little more padding there, so I'll add 20 pixel padding. Okay, maybe a bit more, 30. That's not bad. But I don't like the padding, so I'll change the padding. Or the roundness, I'll make it square. And actually, I need to actually give it the padding. There we go. And let me just close that a second, reopen it. Okay, turn on a border if I want to. I'll turn it off. I can play around with any setting I like. Let me give it a bright red border, for example. If I want to call action to it, I could change, you know what, let me change the button. So I can go, what kind of button do I want? So a button type, I can go with a CSS3. And I can set, okay, what do I want? I want that type there. And I can go to the button size. I can play around with whatever I want there. Until I'm happy with it.
You do some padding.
Yeah. I can add some padding in there, like I mentioned just now. I'm just adjusting that a little bit. But again, there's lots and lots of options so that you can play around with what you want. Let me add 50 pixel padding in just to show you the extremes. Well, okay. Now I have to adjust my button a little bit accordingly. So say 400. See how that works. Okay. So again, you can make the buttons look like anything you want. Maybe you don't want this little icon in here or something like that. Well, again, you can turn all of those little options off. There's plenty of options in here. You just have to dig into it a little bit. And again, like I say, we leave it as a default, but you can play around with whatever you want and adjust accordingly.
And the little white section under the box, that's not really there.
Oh, that little white
That's just
section?
showing you the outlines of where it exists.
Yeah, exactly. That's a margin there. The question was there was a little white box. No, that's just the padding underneath between that and the next element underneath.
Yeah, that outline's not really there.
Yeah, that outline is not there. If I go to this one, for example, actually, let me save the page and go over here. Again, if you want to, the other thing you can do is you can show hide builder controls. That turns everything off. You can see exactly how it looks. Okay. So again, lots and lots of options, or you just load it in a new page and see how it looks. So you can see vast difference between that. And again, lots and lots of different options to design pretty much whatever you want. We've made it very, very flexible. We've made it as flexible as we can. All you got to do is just play around with it. Have some fun with it.
And if their form, when they test the form and they're not getting a redirect, that's part of the form itself. Right?
Quite likely,
set it in the
quite likely the form itself. For example, the question was if it's not redirecting. Well, with that form, I'm going to have to go back to my form settings. So bear with me a second. I want to see if I actually have, again, for example, with Aweber, I could go under settings and say, where's it going to redirect? Thank you page, already subscribed. It's going to the same place. So again, let me test it.
That's what it is. If they're already subscribed, they're getting the same page every time. They're not understanding that.
Yeah, there's an already subscribed. I mean, like with Aweber, if they're already on the list, where do you send them? Well, same place. I tend to send them that way rather than re-adding them to the list. So if I go Sean at artworks.net, one of my dummy sites, Sean at artworks, and click submit. And it says fields are missing because I forgot. I didn't turn off the name requirement on that one. Okay. But you get the idea. That's because I didn't turn off the name. So, okay, let me go in here real quick. And I'll go into the hidden fields and turn off the name. Okay. Okay, now I'll go ahead, close that, save that page. Come back here, refresh. Okay. Shauna Artworks. And it should take me over to I am success editor because that was my thank you page. Just like that. Okay. And usually if you're having a problem with that, it's usually a problem with the original form that you copied and pasted in. In which case, just delete the form, and re-add and you should be good. So simple as that. Now, guys, we are coming up to 1:30 and I am going to have to stop at 1:30. And as you can tell, I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. I've been doing a lot of videos and a lot of videos in the last few days, so my voice is going really bad. But let me ask you guys, before we wrap up, did you learn something from this webinar? Did you get value? And are you having fun? Okay, put a 3 in there. Yeah, absolutely. Good. Great. Guys, I really want to make sure that we get as many questions as we could ask. And again, try to do that in this session as much as possible. And again, I know I couldn't get to some specific questions, and we got a lot of questions. I try to cover as many bases as I can to show you all the hidden power in here, all the real power that you can tap into and have fun with. So I hope that we've covered a lot. I will do. There will be a replay again. Yes, there will be a replay. We are recording. I'm going to try and have that up. I'm actually traveling. I'm taking my honey to Santa Fe for a few days, but I will try and have this replay up later on this afternoon if I can, before I leave for the evening. So keep an eye up on that. I'll try and send out an email when the replay is up. As I say, the extensions bundle that people are asking for, I'll set something up probably next week, honestly, to do that, and we'll see what we can do there. Okay.
And so the prior ones are in there too.
And the prior webinars, prior replays are in the members dashboard. You can see them right here, 1 and 2. Do watch them. Some great content in there. Some great tutorials. And again, we'll try and make everything as cool as we possibly can.
Somebody suggested Geronimo's for dinner. We already have reservations.
Oh, yes, we already. Thank you. Well, that confirms it, because I've never been to Santa Fe. My wife is from that way. And I've been telling everyone that I'm going to have to do the Bugs Bunny joke. I must have taken a left turn at Albuquerque. That's where she was born and raised. So she's going to be so sick of that joke. But yeah, that's we're going to go, funnily enough, on the balloons. They have a balloon festival there, and I'm going to try and get her up in a balloon. So all going to be a laugh. And
we need to cover at some point the Alex Becker opt-in.
The Alex Becker opt-in? Okay, let me do that real quick. That is available from one of the previous webinars we did, some bonus training with a friend of mine, Alex Becker, and a very, very simple, super simple download. There's actually 2 templates that are very similar. There's my version and his version. You can load them right from here. So just click install and install. There's my version, super simple opt-in. That's his version, slightly smaller. He puts a fan gate under there. We're also going to make that an element later on. But again, all you do for the Alex Becker one, I'm going to go, well, funnily enough, I'll just go load page, load template, as I've loaded the template. Actually, if I've got so many loaded, I'll just type Becker, because I've loaded it. There it is. Rapid List Builder, click load. Bob's your uncle, Fanny is your aunt, and there we go. We got a double opt-in right there. And again, this is something with my Chrome, so I'm going to do this real quick. This is my Chrome. It doesn't show the Facebook element under here. So what I'm going to do, to edit the Facebook element, there's a little bit of code. You have to generate, change the URL or your app ID. There's a very basic one in there. But you generate a fan box and put it in there. But there's already one built in there. You can modify it if you want. But if you go preview page, and I'm going to do this in Firefox because I've got a plugin or an add-on that is conflicting with Facebook showing stuff, and it is just mine because I've tested it on many, many other places. But here is the Alex Becker thing, and it should pop up with, there we go, a little bit of pop up there.
Yeah, and they might want to, for anybody who's not used to WordPress, might want to do some basic WordPress stuff first, and that'll help transitioning into PP.
Yes, if you've not used WordPress before, there are some basic underlying stuff, obviously. That, things like how do you use pages, how do you link stuff. We try and build this on WordPress to make it even more powerful. WordPress has a lot of power. That's why I love WordPress. We just bolt on top of that. And we just try and make it as easy as we can. But yeah, understanding some fundamental WordPress stuff really does help to obviously to get the most out. So you know what's going on with WordPress, what's going on with Profit Builder. If you're having a problem with one, it might be a problem with the other. You never know. So again, there's a little crossover there, but we do try and make things as easy as possible, as you can see. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. I really appreciate each and every one of you being part of this incredible Profit Builder and IMSE family. You're all my kids, and that's always good. Even if some of you are a little older than me or some of you way younger than me, I really love being able to share all this with you. And I do hope that you get a lot out of this. Thanks, Pop. Thanks, Dad. There you go. No, I'm going to send you all to bed without any supper. How about that? See, I'll be the bad Pop. But I hope you've enjoyed this session. Hope you got a lot out of it. I really, if you have, let me ask you a favor as well. If you have got tickets open and your question's been answered here this evening, please log into the ticket center and close the ticket. That'll help my team just clear out some of the stuff going on there. And I just want to make sure that we give you as much value as possible. So thank you again. And we'll speak again real soon, I'm sure. Keep an eye out on your email for any replay updates. And as soon as I've got that bundle of all the extensions, I'll let you know as well. Till then, take care.